how a professional golfer uses their wrists in the golf swing is drastically different than how you should be using your wrist. Today I'm going to show you why, and more importantly, how to do that. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV, and I'm going to show you the two different styles today, and you can determine which one is best for you based on how much time you have to practice in terms of your golf game. Now, let's talk about what I call the hold-off method. This is the most popular method right now that I'm seeing, okay, when I'm out on the tour and I'm coaching and I'm teaching, that I'm seeing the professional golfers do. So basically, let me show you what it is. They're getting the club in a position, we're going to talk about how we do that in a second, where they are holding off their wrists, they're holding off their release. So it looks something kind of like this. Notice how my arms, more importantly my wrists, are working through the strike zone. There's no rotation, okay? The other one is where the wrists are releasing. And we're going to talk about that and why I think for the average golfer that's probably a little bit better because it might help them create more club head speed. So back to the first one, the hold off release. All right, here's what you're going to do. This is great if you got a lot of time to practice and you're really, really into golf and you're a low digit handicap golfer. What you're going to do is when you take the club back, you're going to take your lead wrist and you're going to flex it down a little bit. So you're going to basically flex it so that your knuckles rotate ever so slightly to the ground. Notice how I did that. Okay, now when I do that from the down the line view, what you're going to notice is it gets the club in maybe a slightly what we call closed position. All right, so I'm right here, I'm set up, I flex those knuckles towards the ground, that gets the club in this position right here where it's what we call, I would say, a square to slightly closed position. Now from here, what you're going to do is you're just going to rotate to the top, and when I get to the top, now my lead wrist like that is pretty flat, and then as I come through I can just go ahead and hold it off. So let me hit a shot in slow motion here so you can see that. So I got set up, flexing the knuckles towards the ground. Now my knuckles kind of go towards the sky. Notice the wrist position, and then I'm going to just hold it off. Here we go. Flexed. Notice the finish. Okay, now this is a great method. Like I said, if you got a lot of time to practice, maybe you've got plenty of club head speed, but you also have to be able to rotate accurately or correctly or a lot, whatever word you want to use, and you also have to be, in my opinion, pretty fit, pretty strong. And the reason for that is that in order to kind of hold this off, hold that club face from releasing, okay, you've got to have some strength in your hands, your forearms, your core, your body in general. You've got to have some strength to do that. You also have to be able to rotate. Because when we get the club in this position here, where it's square to slightly closed, and same at the top, and I come down, it's a great spot to be for consistency. Great spot. That's why tour professionals like it. They got plenty of distance. All right, I always tell people, if you have your name on your bag and you play golf for a living, right? A lot of us have our name on our bag, but we don't play golf for a living. If you have your name on your bag and you play golf for a living, then you probably got a lot of club head speed, right? So they're looking for accuracy. That's why they love this method. So, but when you come through, you also have to be able to really rotate your body to kind of hold it off. So let's go ahead and recap that. And we're going to talk about how to use the wrist for the average golfer. I think it's really a better way if you need club head speed. So here we go. Professional method. Knuckles go down, right? Gets the club face in good position. Keep it there, and then rotate and open up and hold it off. Okay, like now that feels solid, and it feels like I could really control the ball flight. All right, now, how about the average golfer? And here's what I have to tell you. You need to subscribe to US Golf TV. Do that right now, because 99.9% of the videos that we put together, my buddy Nick and I, we put these together, they're designed for the average golfer. All right, so subscribe. I don't care if it's chipping, putting, bunkers, course management, we've got it all there. Also check out our website, usgolftv.com. That's different content, written content, but that's different than what we have here on YouTube. Great spot. And last but not least, you got to check out Vertical Line Golf. Our vertical line swing system is tailor-made for the weekend golfer, or what I like to call the experienced golfer. So here we go. Let's talk about how we use the wrist for most of us. You don't get a lot of time to practice. What we're going to do there is we're going to actually release the club a little bit. So let me show you what we're doing here, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. But see my wrists? They're rotating a little bit. Now, what's the good part about this? in general, I have found that it allows for a little more club head speed. Now, some other instructors might argue that, and that's okay. But what I see for most of my golfers, okay, 55 years old, 60 years old, come to lesson tee, like, Todd, I've lost all my distance, I need more speed. Okay, the arms are a great way to do that. Also, the wrists are a great way to do that. Now, the downside might be a little bit of accuracy. But if you think about an amateur golfer, think about yourself. Typically, they usually hit the ball pretty straight, but they need more distance. So let's talk about how we can do that. Well, first of all, get set up, same setup. When you take it back, you're going to feel like you hinge the club. Notice this? See, I'm hinging the club. This is different. And that gets my lead wrist right here in a little bit of a slightly cupped position. Not crazy. You don't want to go crazy cup because that's going to get the club face in a bad spot. But a little bit of hinge, okay? That's different than my, let's look at it down the line. Here's, okay, there's club head speed for average golfer. Here's more consistency for the professional golfer. So I got it hinged a little bit. And then when I come through, I'm going to let it release, okay? Boom, let it release. And I'm going to show you a drill here in just a second how you can really get that going and create some club head speed. So let me hit a shot in slow motion. Same setup. Amateur golfer, professional golfer, doesn't matter. Same setup. I'm going to hinge it a little bit, and I'm going to let it release, hinge it, and let it release. All right? Now, I feel like I can swing the club faster that way. I do feel like it's a little bit more challenging to be accurate. Got to tell you that. But, like I said, it gives us a little bit more speed. So how can we do this in a practice drill? Well, here's one of my favorite drills that I love to give my students. Put your feet together and just make some swings this way. Boom. Let the arms swing. Okay, and then go ahead and hit a couple shots. And what you'll realize, okay, is that there's a lot of speed and a lot of power in your arms by just literally swinging my arms. Okay, and that is a different type of release with the wrist than it is for the tour professional. So let's go back here. Now I got that feel. I'm going to get set up. A little bit of hinge, a little bit of release. Okay, now that felt faster after doing that drill a couple times. So when we're talking about swinging the golf club, I don't care if you're talking about setup, takeaway. Today we're talking about wrist. You got to think about, is this information for me or is this information for a tour professional? Okay, what we've talked about today is how to use the wrist, and I think this information will help the average golfer play better golf and definitely get more club head speed and might even improve your contact a little bit.